Identifying the little horn of Daniel 7 is extremely important because the little horn of Daniel is also the Antichrist in the book of Revelation. In Daniel 7:19-26, God gives us many identifying marks to know who the little horn is. We're going to write them down and create a list of God's identifying marks. In Daniel chapter 7, verses 19 and 20, Daniel was told in his vision that he would know the truth of the fourth beast, and of the 10 horns, and of the other which came up, before whom 3 fell. And now God is sharing the truth with you. Verse 23 calls the fourth beast the fourth kingdom. Based on what we have learned in our last 2 segments, the fourth beast of Daniel 7 was the pagan Roman Empire, which came up in Europe. The 10 horns which came out of Rome's fall in 476 AD were also located in Europe. Daniel 7:24 identifies these 10 horns as 10 kings or kingdoms. Now here's what Daniel 7:8 says about the little horn. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. Since verse 8 calls this a little horn, it must be a little kingdom. Verse 20 says his look is more stout than the other kingdoms. In other words, even though he was little, he was strong. The Bible says the little horn rises to power after the first 10 kingdoms. This means he comes into power after 476 AD. Verse 24 says the little horn is diverse or different from the 10 horns before him. This little horn is indeed different. While the other 10 were political kingdoms, the little horn is both a political and a religious kingdom. Daniel 7:8 says that there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the little horn. Therefore, the little horn is responsible for the destruction of these 3 kingdoms, who were known as the Heruli, the Vandals, and the Ostrogoths. Verse 8 and 20 says, this little horn has eyes like a man. Eyes are a symbol of wisdom. In other words, a man would be at the head of this power, exercising man's wisdom. Verse 8 and 25 says, he speaks great words against the Most High. These great words are words of blasphemy because they are words against God. Verse 21 and 25 says, he wears out or makes war with the saints of God. Verse 25 also says, the saints shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. We will explain how to calculate this period of time in a future segment. But for now, simply understand this is a time period equal to 1260 years. Verse 25 continues to say, the little horn thinks he has the power to change the times and laws of God. Then, verse 26 says, the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. In other words, when God judges the little horn, he takes away his power, destroying him and his kingdom. This includes all those who were deceived by the little horn and did not follow the teachings and warnings God has given us in the Holy Bible. Remember, Revelation 13:3 says, all the world wondered after the beast. This includes many Christians today because they don't know who the little horn is. But this won't happen to you if you allow God's holy word to be your only guide. In our next segment, we will tell you who the little horn Antichrist power is by applying God's identifying marks to the only power on earth that can possibly fit all of God's identifying marks. And you will know for certain, beyond any doubt, according to God's holy word, who the little horn Antichrist really is. To learn more, email stmedia.co@gmail.com with your name and address for the free book, The Great Controversy Between Christ and Satan, available within the continental United States while supplies last. Outside the continental U.S., we'll send you the book in PDF format. So please email us today with your name and address, and we'll send you this free book, The Great Controversy, Past, Present, and Future. That address again is stmedia.co@gmail.com. May God bless you as you seek to learn and follow His will for your life as found in the Holy Bible. One final note, please do not request this book if you already have a copy in your home. Thank you, and God bless you.